Hi, my name's Amanda. I am a coach and a channel, and welcome to Wednesday's Spirit Night Live with Q&A. So the way this works is I come on live every week on YouTube on Wednesdays, and the first part of this experience is a channeled message from Spirit. I essentially set the intention to invite Spirit forward and share a new perspective with us, some new idea, new awareness about something, or wisdom that they would like us to receive that's going to allow us to see a new perspective on ourself and our life and open up new possibility and opportunity as a byproduct. And then from there, I like spirit to guide us into a very short and sweet experience of that message. This is a visualization exercise, a guided meditation, or somatic experience that allows you to understand how this message that they're trying to express is showing up for you specifically in your life and guides you through how to navigate this specific situation that might be coming up for you at this time so that you can leave this experience with new awareness and new perspective and also tangible, grounded examples on what to do with that moving forward so that it's not just a message that you're receiving on a theoretical or intellectual capacity, but it's something that you're understanding how it's being embodied and how to shift it inside of yourself and your life moving forward. And then after that, if you're here with me live, I like to give you an opportunity to jump in the chat and ask whatever's on your heart. If there's anything that you're personally moving through at this time in your life that you would like guidance around or specific perspective around, or if you're feeling challenged by something, this is a chance to come forward and receive support. And I just want to make it clear that this is not a psychic reading. I'm not going to give you information on future potentials or necessarily what the outcome of your situation is going to be, but rather I'm going to guide you on how to hold space for whatever it is that's needed most. So, however is going to be within your highest and best to receive and understand how to either hold it differently, that's going to allow more peace and understanding and clarity, or provide you with ideas and examples on how to move forward with it in a new way. So it's more intuitive coaching than psychic messages. And it's really intended to invite you forward into your power and reflect back to you where you might be limiting yourself, where you might be holding yourself back, and how you can begin to be your own source of wisdom. So, that being said, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to tune into spirit and I'm going to see what it is that they'd like to share with us today. Just give me a sec. So they're showing me this image of they like to start with an image of some sort. So they're showing me this image of someone hiking up a mountain, but you're in like really tall grass. So like almost waist deep grass, and you are hiking up this beautiful mountain and you're surrounded by this incredible picturesque view, and you can feel your heart pounding in your chest. It feels like you're exerting a lot of effort inside of this hike, and you're sweating and you're tired and you're hot internally, but the air around you is cool, and your feet are hurting, and there's like rocks under your boots, and you're just like really quite exhausted, but also there's this feeling of determination to make it to the top so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, which is the incredible view that you came here for. And they really want you to take a moment to like close your eyes and visualize this for yourself. There's something important inside of here for you that they're going to get at. So if you want to close your eyes in this moment and put yourself in that position where you're the one hiking this mountain and you're feeling the effort required, that you're feeling your shortness of breath and your heart pounding in your chest from your elevated heart rate and the exertion that you're putting forward, and your muscles are aching, and you're wearing this backpack on your back, and it's heavy and it's straining against your neck. But there's this like adrenaline rush to push through that effort to get to the end of the climb where you're going to be able to take the backpack off and throw it on the ground, roll your shoulders out, and like sit down for a second and catch your breath and take it in. And it's this anticipation of that moment of relief that is keeping you going. Okay, where do you want to go with this? And they just want you to kind of pull up in your mind a parallel situation in your life where you might be undergoing that same amount of effort, where you might be putting forward like a great deal of of effort to accomplish something that feels really important to you. And there might be people in your life that are looking at you and wondering why you care so much. Why are they why are they even bothering to climb this mountain? Like it's so much work, it requires so much training, it's so difficult. There's other mountains to climb that are not as dangerous, not as elevated. And so you're like you're on this journey for you, and you're really putting in the effort and the struggle and the aggravation because it's fueling and fulfilling something for you. And you know that not everybody understands, but you can't explain why it's so important. You're just following the drive, the call to do it, and you just know without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to be worth it at the end. And you just have to block out the noise of the people around you that just don't seem to understand or have the same drive or the same goals that you do. They are on their own path, and they might look at you and not quite understand the choices that you're making, but they don't need to. You feel you feel it inside of you. You feel the electricity, you feel the rush, and so you are choosing to do it anyway. And they just want you to visualize that situation in your mind right now. And they want to ask yourself what the reason is why you're putting up with their chitter chatter. It okay, can you elaborate on that? Yeah, it seems like sometimes you are hearing them question the choices that you're making, and it bothers you a little bit. Like, why can't they just let me have this thing? Why can't they just understand? Why can't they just join me? Why can't they just um, look at the effort I'm putting in and be proud of me and be excited for me? Why do they have to bring me down? And it's almost like this part of you gets caught up in that sometimes and gets um, frustrated by it, allows yourself to get frustrated by it, allows yourself to feel a little bit deterred because of it. And it's not like it stops you, but it gets under your skin. And they just want you to think about those people and what they're saying, or what you perceive that they're saying or thinking, and what they say to you and how it makes you feel. And they just want you to ask yourself what it is about their words that actually bothers you. Because on some level, it couldn't, but it does. And they're saying there's a really important understanding here, understanding why their words are affecting you is is really important to your ability to access peace. Because I think that you want to know, you wish that things were different, and if you could just understand why they won't just let you have this thing, it would provide you with a lot of like the ability to let go of it and to not let it bother you so much. And they just want you to, like, in this moment, recognize that, yeah, it does kind of get under my skin. And yeah, it is really annoying. And if I had to choose, I would prefer that they just be unconditionally supportive and not be constantly like undermining me or second guessing me. Like, why are they questioning me? Why don't they believe in me? Why can't they see my light the way that I'm feeling it for me? And why does it bother me so much? And they just want you to witness all of these emotions kind of surfacing when you think about this situation. And they also want you to come back to this visual of you climbing this mountain. And with every step that you take as you climb this mountain, you hear their voices questioning you, second guessing you. And how much more effort is required to not only climb the mountain, but have the experience be enjoyable, knowing that those words are echoing in your mind. Because if they weren't there, the experience would be so much easier and so much more enjoyable. And noticing how their words almost siphon the excitement and the joy from the experience and turn up the volume on the effort required to overcome their doubt in you, their disbelief in you, their questions of you. Okay, where are you going with this? And they want you to just in this moment hold space for that part of you that's feeling the burden of their words. Feeling the burden of their words and allowing the burden of their words to get to you and affect you. Because as much as you try not to let their words affect you, they are. And so it's important to acknowledge that, because by acknowledging that, you're going to find the avenue to releasing that. And if releasing that is something that you've been really trying to do, they're inviting you into the experience of how right now. And they just want you to feel like the annoyance, the frustration, the loneliness, the aggravation of the people in your life that are doubting you and vocalizing that doubt. And they want you to visualize seeing those people in your mind's eye, just standing around you. Maybe it's one person, maybe it's more than one, and just it's almost like they're lining the edge of the mountain as you're climbing it. And as you're climbing it, you're seeing their faces, standing still as you're walking by them. They're not saying anything, they're just standing there, but they are beaming at you with pride. And so instead of their words being filled with doubt, you are seeing their joy and their pride that you are doing something that's fulfilling you. And you're feeling the doubt inside of you still that's kind of echoing, but you're not seeing it on their faces. So there's a disconnect there. There's a disconnect from the people that you're seeing and the emotions that you're feeling inside of you from what you have heard them or perceived that they have been saying. And they want you to notice the contrast between the smiling faces filled with pride for you, filled with joy for you, and the feeling of doubt and constant berating that you're feeling echoing inside of you from things that you've perceived that they've said or felt. And they're asking you in this moment where those words of discouragement are coming from. Are they coming from the smiling faces? Are they just existing inside of you as you're walking by them? And they want you to perceive these faces as you're walking by them as the parts of these people that really do love you and that really do care about you and support you, and so desperately want to encourage you, but don't know how. They're there with you on the mountain. They're standing there silently watching you. They love you, but they don't quite know what to say to support the choices that you're making. And so instead, you're hearing or feeling or perceiving their questions, and it's weighing you down. But is that what the intention was? And is that what was actually said? Or has there been a disconnect between what this person's truly feeling about you and how they're communicating those thoughts? And although they mean well, it's frustrating to hear when it doesn't feel like they fully understand or can just be supportive. And so in this moment, they just want you to recognize that just because their words sound discouraging and not in support in the way that you would want them to be, it doesn't mean that the support doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that the pride doesn't exist. And it doesn't mean that they aren't rooting for you. It just means that they don't know how in the way that you would like them to or that you need them to. And they want you to feel the words inside that have been percolating and creating this discomfort that you've been carrying. And they want you to visualize sending all that energy back to them with gratitude and with love, to all of the smiling faces that are standing there. Just slowly sending that energy back. It's not yours. And it was sent by accident with no ill intent, but just with the level of ignorance on how to show up for you in the way that you've needed them to. Just sending all of that back to them, feeling it emptying from you one by one, so that all that you're left with are their smiling faces, silently smiling and beaming at you, knowing that deep down they do love you and they do encourage you and they do believe in you. But their words are no longer present for you. And all that you perceive and all that you feel and all that you see is their presence there, smiling and encouraging you, silently encouraging you to move forward. And they want you to take this message and carry it through into whatever situation has been showing up for you. Because they want you to know in this moment that although it doesn't often, with this person or these people, feel like they get it, feel like they trust you, believe in you, and are in full support of you, it doesn't mean that they aren't deep down. And if you can begin to see their words as simply their desire to support you, their desire to believe in you, and their desire to encourage you, then you can begin to see that there's simply a disconnect between the intention and their understanding of how to deliver it. And the next time you're on the receiving end of some of their words of belittlement or of questioning or of doubt, you'll be able to perceive it in a different way, which is simply the only way that they know how, because they simply haven't been given the tools to do it in the way that you would want them to or prefer that they do. And ultimately, it is up to you to be the sounding board for your own motivation. And if you're expecting these people in your life to provide that for you in the way that you want, you may never get it in the way that's needed. All you're going to get from them is what they have available to them based on their tools and their knowledge and their information and skill set and energetic capacity to hold the space needed. And so allowing their presence to be there and to be felt in the way that's intended is the message here. Seeing them for who they are deep down, which is someone that ultimately does truly care about you and believe in you, but doesn't understand how to communicate it. And seeing the innocence in that, recognizing the lack of capacity in that, and choosing to move forward for the sake of your own goal rather than needing their support to accomplish it. Because the drive and the motivation is already there. It's already intrinsic. It's already calling you forward. You're already doing the thing, and you don't need their verbalized consent to do it. Even though it might be great to have it, what you do have is a support system. It's just being presented in a way that is not outwardly apparent. I feel like this was like a very specific message for someone here. Is there anything else you want to say about that? They're saying the climb is going to be worth the effort expended, and you know that, and allowing that to be enough. And um, if that means creating separation or distance from this person or these people in the meantime, so that you can have like the clarity of thought and focus that's needed, then that's okay too, to create that boundary for yourself, knowing that you'll meet up with them at the bottom of the mountain on the way back down. They're going to be there to greet you and to celebrate your success and your triumph on the other side. They just might not be there along the duration in the way that you would desire them to, or prefer them to be. Is there anything else you want to say about this? They're just saying take this message for what it is. If it resonates for you and something that you're personally going through at this time, great. If you haven't experienced this at this point in time, that's fine. But at some point in time, you might. And at some point in time, this message might be relevant to you. And when that time comes, you'll understand how to receive it and how to anchor into it in a way that serves you best. Cool. Okay, I'm going to come to the chat. Hi, Stacy. When I have a series of challenges all at once, have I made a wrong move that set off a more difficult timeline, or is this just life, like a masterclass? Okay. Every time you ask a question, I need to like really lock into it because you are so perceptive. Let me read this again. When I have a series of challenges all at once, have I made a wrong move that set off a more difficult timeline? Or is this just life, like a masterclass? Um, no, that's okay. I understand what you're asking. It's such like a very specific, nuanced question. So I'm just really taking my time with it. Um, Okay, I'm the answer that I'm going to give you is going to offer you a different perspective on what you're asking here. And what I'm being asked to reflect back to you is that it all comes down to how you're perceiving the challenges, what you're perceiving the challenges to be, what you're perceiving them to mean, and how you're perceiving them to be impacting your journey through this life. Are they truly challenges? Are they opportunities? And are they there to teach you? Or are they there to provide for you an experience that you didn't realize may have been needed, but might create space for necessary awareness that couldn't have been like realized before. So there isn't really so hold on, let me just ask again. The timeline that you are navigating is the one that is going to provide you with the experience that you're asking for or seeking out. And if it is littered with challenges that keep popping up, that is because you are creating observe you are creating opportunity for new what? Challenges to be overcome. Can you clarify this? I feel like you are no, they're saying they're saying to stop and let you reflect on that for a second. Stacey, let me know what you think about that. Stacey, do you enjoy overcoming obstacles? Is that something that you seek out? Ways to navigate challenges because it feels really exhilarating on the other side. Okay. So then if navigating and overcoming challenges feels exhilarating, just like climbing the mountain and getting to the top, which is choosing to undergo a challenge so that you can experience the exhilaration on the other side of it, then are these challenges that are popping up for you created so that you can learn and grow from them, or simply because you are asking to experience the exhilaration on the other side of a unique obstacle? And ultimately, it doesn't really matter which is true. What matters is how you perceive the experiences that you're having. And if it's an experience that is going to facilitate um, like relief, then what? How can you deny the experience of the challenge to begin with, is what they're saying. They're really challenging you with this. But you're capable of a high level conversation. So let me know if there's confusion with this because they're not really answering it, but they're providing you with perspective. They're saying you're creating the reality that you're asking for. And if overcoming challenges is something that you enjoy doing, then creating the possibility for those challenges to be overcome is something that you may not be consciously aware is something that you're doing or setting the intention to do, but it's something that is being presented to you because you love it. um, and ultimately, that is how it's being experienced. And so that is how it's being observed. What if she doesn't want as many challenges? Then what? Then it's time to redefine how she experiences her own sense of self, is what they're saying. So, are you saying that she's creating challenges because she enjoys overcoming challenges? Is that what you're saying? They're saying not quite. It's just one way to perceive the reality that's being experienced. I think there's a lesson which will change future behavior. I know I will feel good after I overcome the challenge. I just don't like the difficulty of not being able to think straight when sick. Stacy, what is your actual question? Because I feel like there's layers here, but ultimately there's a desire underneath this that is where the question is coming from. And I want you to get really clear on what it is that you would actually want, and then ask, how do I get that? Rather than trying to understand the current experience, I want you to ask, what is the experience that I want to have? How do I get that? Take a moment, let that percolate, and then if you want, we can navigate that, because I feel like that's what's being asked of you right now in order to get the answer that you really want. Sometimes it's helpful to create clarity on why we're experiencing what we're experiencing. But I think if we spend too much time doing that, it gets convoluted. And instead, we need to push that aside and get to the bare bones of, okay, if this is not what I want to experience, what do I actually want to experience? And let's focus on that instead so that we can move the intention towards the actual destination that's desired, rather than trying to understand the experience that we're currently having and why that was created, because sometimes it's created from the desire to experience it. But if we can understand what's more consciously desired, then we can begin to understand how to create that instead. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. I can feel you thinking and processing. Take your time. I think sometimes we, without realizing it, are afraid to claim our deepest desire because it feels too big, doesn't feel possible. We don't feel worthy of it. So we are scared to ask for it. Or if we ask for it and we put it out there and then we can't, for whatever reason, create it, get it, access it, it's more painful. So we pick the smaller thing and claim that instead because it's less scary. And so I really, anyone watching this, I just want to reflect back to you if, to recognize if that might be going on for you, where you have denied yourself what's truly desired because it just doesn't feel possible or it doesn't feel tangible or um, there's something about it that doesn't feel realistic or realistic for you. And I want you to begin to question that. Because if you're not honest with what you really want, you're never going to create a reality that reflects what you want. You're always going to create a reality that reflects your doubt, your fear, your misgivings. And so that's what you're going to constantly be experiencing. And that's what's always going to be reflected back to you. And sometimes we create realities where our doubt is constantly being experienced because ultimately that's what we're asking for without realizing it. I might have roadblocked myself from fear of failure. Okay? I like that you're seeing that. Is this something that you want to work through with me in real time, or is this something that you would like to sit with? Because I feel like we still haven't gotten to the heart here of what you're really asking for or asking about. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I want to just give you an opportunity to talk it through or let you reflect on it privately. There's something about feeling constantly like you're feeling held back, blocked, forced to stop and rest and wait when what you really want is to move and feels like you aren't making forward progress in the way you want to. I feel like there's something there that we're getting at. You're being asked to claim something that you don't feel ready to claim, I think. I could be wrong. I'm trying to figure out if I can still party sometimes because I had a great time, but I lowered my immune system in the process. I've been hermiting for a long time. Okay, Stacy, I am going to challenge you again, okay? I'm not 100% sure that that's what's actually desired. It feels like that's what you're consciously trying to find your way back to. But there's a part of you that in the party was escaping or running from something. And so you are trying to get back to a an experience that felt um, freeing, but there was a part of you that didn't fully feel free inside of it. And I think that that is the resistance push pull that's kind of being suppressed a little bit, and that is really trying to come forward right now. Is it the partying that you're actually wanting? Or is it something that the partying allowed a vehicle to access, but wasn't fully available inside of that experience? It was an expression of that experience, but it wasn't fully felt in like an embodied unconditional capacity. It's like a version of you that felt free to be you, that felt comfortable, that felt confident, that felt uninhibited, but at the same time was being stifled through that mechanism. And what's actually calling to be desired is freedom to be you without permission, without invitation, without the right circumstances or situations. Let me know if that resonates at all, if I'm off with that. It feels like some of this might be unconscious or suppressed a little bit or forgotten. Yeah, that's very true. I just wanted to be with my old friends again, but I've changed so much. Okay, so we're coming back once again to the question, what do I want? What do I really want? What I want is X. They're really challenging you to get really clear here so that a path forward can be created. Is it ex- is it to reconnect with old friends in a way that you are embraced for who you are now? Or is it simply the ability to be with a group of people where you can feel free to be who you are now and be embraced? Or is it feeling free to be who you are, regardless of who you're with, knowing that you don't need to be embraced because you're embraced regardless? Like there's some core thread there that's asking to be revealed. And they want you to claim it today. They really want you to claim it because you've been really wanting to claim it. When you can be really, and I'm not just talking to you, Stacy, I'm just talking to anyone watching this. When you can be really honest with yourself about what you really, really want, even if it feels stupid, even if it feels silly. I think sometimes in the spiritual space, we don't allow ourselves to want things that feel frivolous. It just feels like not big enough or high enough or evolved enough or ascended enough. But so we deny what we really, really want for something that's more acceptable. And so again, we move through life resisting who we are and what we desire most and creating a reality that is constantly just an expression of that resistance. And I really want to encourage anyone watching this to be truly honest with yourself about what it is that you really want and sit there and feel the discomfort of claiming it. Yes, I want this, and it feels really uncomfortable. I feel ashamed that I want this. And allow the recognition of that shame or the guilt or like the um, embarrassment, and allow that to be the experience of it for now, because you have to ride the wave of the discomfort of wanting that thing in order to come to terms with the fact that it's just what you effing want. And once you can get over the embarrassment of that wanting that thing, you can begin to focus rather than on the embarrassment of wanting it, on how to get it. And that is when you move in alignment with your deepest intention. When the intention and the desire are aligned, you create that intention and desire over and over and over again. And you begin to pave a path of, that experience. And a lot of the time, it's going to require you to face the resistance of the desire itself, um, which you may not have realized that you were holding on to so tightly. And it is ultimately an unraveling of the conditioned belief system that you can't have what you want. I want to stay clear and feel comfortable being me without feeling the need to use substances to enjoy being in large groups. Sometimes I just want to not feel like I'm always the responsible one. Yes, I love that. I'm so proud of you for owning that and claiming that. Okay. So now becomes the question, how do I do that? Right? If that is what you want, then it's going to be up to you to show up as that person, to begin to show up inside of groups of people, being you, and allowing them to have their, their side talk. It might be things they do say to you. It might be things that you're worried that they're thinking about you or saying to you. Coming back to this analogy, the visual at the beginning of this experience, you're climbing the mountain, which is you being able to show up fully as you without the use of substances and feeling comfortable and free doing that. And that is you climbing the mountain towards that goal. And there might be people around you inside of that climb that you might perceive to be judging you, doubting you, not understanding this effort that you're putting in. But if you can begin to just see them as silently rooting for you, knowing that they simply don't know how to communicate that because they don't have the tools and awareness, then the climb becomes intrinsically motivating for you And although it's still going to require effort, it's going to be easier and less distracting. And effort will still be required. And this is going to be an uncomfortable mountain for you to climb. And they want you to see how the obstacles that you're perceiving are popping up along the way are simply your interpretation of the climb itself. That it might be that it's supposed to look different, or that it's meant to be different. It's not meant to be any one thing. It's simply meant to be the experience that you are perceiving is there. And if you can perceive those obstacles as simply something that is required to climb the mountain, then the climb itself becomes less frustrating. And the intrinsic motivation continues to be strong enough to pull you forward. And it's up to you to determine how quickly you climb the mountain, how you go about the path that you take. And Stacy, your team, your spirit guides, they want you to know that they are fully in support of you. You have to lead. You have to go looking for opportunity to embody this desire. And you might find that the opportunities present themselves quickly when you are determined to face them. Let me know how that sits. I think that I think that you know what you need to do. I don't think that there's necessarily guidance that you need. I think you just need. I think you're just looking for like a friend to talk about this with, and that's me, and I'm here. Yeah, I feel like you do know, and I feel like there are opportunities that you know of to begin implementing this. It's just felt sticky and slow and frustrating because you've been slightly resisting it. That's all. But when the determination surfaces, the opportunities will be loud and clear, and you will meet them one at a time when you're ready to. And if you need clarity on anything that we discussed today, just let me know. You can email me privately and we can talk about it. But I am so proud of you. I am so continuously um, like inspired and amazed by you and your vulnerability. And I I can't imagine that the people that you would meet in those experiences wouldn't see or feel that if they were open to. And if they're not open to, it's because they're just not ready. They're not ready. And it's up to you to choose to be in those spaces with those people. And you have that power. Is there any other way that I can support you today? Does this feel complete to you? How would you guys like to sum this up today? They're saying that the mountain that we choose to climb is ultimately the mountain that we perceive is the right one for us to climb. We're all climbing a mountain, the mountain of life, and we get to choose which mountain that is. And you can be climbing a mountain with the destination being something that is not worth the climb because you didn't set the intention to choose the mountain that you really wanted to climb. And you can change mountains anytime you want to. But if if the end result of the climb doesn't feel worth the climb itself, It's up to you to acknowledge that, come to terms with that, and decide if you want to continue that climb. And that is your choice and your choice alone. And nobody can make that for you. But it requires taking massive personal responsibility for what's true for you. And that is ultimately the gift that you give you. And it's uncomfortable sometimes to look at that, but the climb will be worth the discomfort at the end of it if it's the mountain that's really calling to you. Stacy, when I think back to the authentic moments I had that night, it was amazing. I feel complete. Thanks again. You're welcome. You're welcome. So glad we could talk this through today. And I feel like if there's anything that feels unclear, I know that clarity is going to come once you just take a moment to process this. That's all. And I think the clarity is there. I think it just comes down to um, overcoming whatever fear or doubt is still lingering, which tends to be the case. Okay, I'm gonna close this up for today. Thank you all so much for being here to live or watching the replay. And thank you, Stacy, for being so open and vulnerable and sharing your heart. And I know that anyone watching this is going to learn a lot from you, from listening to you and from the kind of back and forth that we have inside of these sessions. And that alone is like a testament to your light, is that you are allowing others to perceive you as you climb your mountain, and that is a very beautiful gift. Oh, I'm just gonna come to the chat one more time. Nani 350. A lot of people are not ready. They are busybody thinking how they can get that. What I want is freedom from this world. I'm tired of going back and forth. My soul is not a slave. I'm more than that. Thank you so much for sharing your message with us. I'm gonna close this live for today. Um, I encourage you to come back next week. If there's conversation that you want to have around that, I would love to hold space for you when I have more time to do so. I like to keep these lives to an hour. If there's something that you're wanting to talk through, if you would like support with something that you're going through, then I'm here for you. And I want to give it the time and space that's needed for that. So I go live twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. And I encourage you to pop in next week and we can really dive deep into this if that's something that you're wanting at that time. Okay. So I'm sorry to cut this off, but I'm feeling that there's a lot here. And I want to empower you to step forward and to have a conversation about it in a way that's going to really give you the whatever's needed. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.